time, please make some noise for Tiffany Tucker. How's everybody doing?
All right.
Right? You got it, Kirsten?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did,
I
right?
need some eating here.
Right? How's everybody doing? Good? Yeah. I'm gonna delicately sit down. I'm trying to be grown, trying to put the Spanx on, get grown, and I'm trying to have that kind of moment, right? Now we got some feedback. Too close?
We won't put too close.
Well, we don't want to fall off the edge of the...
You're good.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Do I need to use my mom voice? First of all, I am so excited to be here. This is such a positive event here in Cleveland. There's so much going on, and I don't want the kids with me, so I feel like an adult here. And I didn't mention this, but I don't want to get emotional, but when I thought about basketball, figure skating was my thing. But my father was Stanford's first black scholar athlete, and he played basketball in 1952. So that's what we right now. I don't know how to play the game. He conducted me through all of 2007, but I can feel the appreciation and the love. So we're ready to get into it?
Yeah.
Okay, don't make fun of me. I gotta put on my, that time has come. I gotta put on my readers, my $1.99 Marks readers. Don't laugh. Cappy, we're gonna start with you, and I'll begin with you, Katie.
Gotcha.
In a minute,
Okay.
okay? He's gonna be the appetizer, okay? We're talking about the intersection of sports and art. So my first question for you, Mr. Campy, when you think about your work, how do you see sports as a form of art?
I think that's an interesting question, but I think of it as art primarily because you're creative. You know, you see a vision, and when you play basketball, the thing that you have to be able to do is to outwit the person, not just that's in front of you, but that's behind you as well. So you have to have this great vision, number one. Number two, you have to have those abilities to make those plays out there on the floor. You have to be able to create. Sometimes, you see people now come down and they shake and they cross over and all that. That's a part of the creation.
Wait, show me that shake again. How many? It might be a dance move. Shake. Sorry, I interrupted you.
It's just a great movie.
Yes, yes.
It's about deception, even though art is not necessarily about deception. Art is what you see.
Okay.
And as it relates to basketball, it's about being able to see. The more you can see out there on the floor, the more creative you become. Because you have the ability to now make plays for your teammates, get the defense off kilter, and do all those things. So definitely, when you think about basketball, you think about it as an art because it's about the movement, it's about being able to have a vision, and then more importantly, to have the stamina as well. But more importantly, as that, is just be creative out there on the court.
Okay, Mr. Campy. Okay, do you want to answer that? Want me to ask you the question again? When you think about your work, how do you see sports as a form of art? Now, are you going to do all that?
No.
Okay.
Well, I would say, first of all, athletes are artists, right? And so when I'm looking at players like Steph Curry who have completely kind of changed the game in terms of how they play, how he's pulling up from 30, LeBron in terms of him just being like a freight train coming down the lane, I feel like that's kind of how I envision, athletes being artists of the game. And when you're able to kind of look at, just how the game has changed, right? So Campy, when you played and probably watching the game now, it's completely different,
Yes.
right? In the style of play. And so when you think about art, it's, it's ever changing, it's evolving, right? And so when you think about those two things and kind of how they intersect, that's kind of how I think about, art and basketball. And then just the beauty of the game, right? So basketball is a beautiful, beautiful sport. I've been fortunate enough to play, my time not anymore.
You still can do some things. You said you could
I can still shoot, for sure.
Still shoot. Okay.
Everything else, these knees, they're not the same. But I can definitely still shoot. But yes, it's a beautiful sport. It's a beautiful game. Athletes are artists, and they're changing kind of culture and everything in between.
So I guess we should touch on that. How do they express specifically their creativity? I mean, we talked about that.
I think by how they play, right? Their style. I think everybody kind of has a different interpretation of it. I think, Campy was talking about the movement and the vision of it. But it's also, I think, the team aspect of it, and everybody kind of coming in collectively together as well.
Now, this question isn't on my list, but as a reporter, you kind of get off the script a little bit.
Yes.
In terms of creativity and expressing the creativity, Campy, let me ask you, are there certain players that you're just like, now you're like, wow, I wish we had them back then? Or is there anybody in particular that you like their creativity, the way they move?
Well, there's a lot of guys that have a really good understanding how to play the game. They also have these uncanny abilities to move, and not only just themselves move, but move the person that's in front of them, which is normally the defense. And to me, the more that you have the ability to convince that guy or woman that's standing in front of you, the better you become. But you have to be creative with it. You almost have to be very deceptive with it. You have to be able to make them think that you're going to do something, but you say, no, that's not the right answer. I'm going this way. Or I'm shooting my jumper on you. I'm going to fake you and I'm going to step back on you and shoot a banker. Those are the kind of things that when you look at and think about art, because when you see art itself, you see something that is just, it's beautiful to your point, but at the same time, it's something that is creative. And normally when you see things that are creative and you see them over and over and over again, you start looking at different concepts of it and how it all came together. So to me, that's why I believe basketball, sports in general, is definitely about art.
Let's talk about a little bit more about and KG, maybe you want to start, or Campy, maybe you want to start. The identity a little bit more. Cleveland has such a passionate sports culture, as we know. I grew up in LA, going to Rams and Raiders games and going to, LA Laker games. But this is where my babies were born, and I know such a heart. People have such a heart for the sports, whether it's the Browns, whether it's the Cavs. It's different. LA will go to the game for like 15 minutes, team's not winning, then they walk out. I can say that because I'm from LA. But in terms of the passionate of the culture, from your perspective, what makes this city's relationship with its teams so unique?
Yeah, I guess I'll start. First of all, Cleveland has such an incredible community. The fans are kind of like unlike any other in terms of the cities I've been a part of. So I'm not originally from here. I'm from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, so its closest major city is Philadelphia. But like you said, like the Browns, the Cavs, I feel like everybody is such a passionate fan, right?
Guardians, sorry, I forgot the
Guardians
Guardians
too.
too.
We got somebody over there.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter if we're winning, we're losing. I think everybody still comes out and still supports the teams.
Absolutely.
And so that's really inspiring when in terms of we're going to be bringing a W team here, and we're really excited about the fandom and everybody else still.
I want to know what the name's going to be. I know that's going to come. Do you know something? I'm trying to break some news. You know anything?
I do, but I couldn't tell you.
You can't?
No.
Where'd you say that bar was at? On the third floor? I want to know the name.
Yeah, well, stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Next year it's going to come out in early next year, so around February, March.
That'll be here before you know it.
Yes, it
so
will.
there's definitely an influence between the sports and the arts and the teams and the supporting. Talk about athletes as cultural icons, Campy. In your era, back in the day, right? Players help define the culture of basketball both on and off the court. How did you see art, fashion, talk a little about art, fashion, and style show up in NBA during your time?
Well, I think if you look at sports and you look at style,
Yes.
and you look at how we as athletes we all have our own flair. We all have our own way of dressing and being able to express yourself. So for me, that's why sports is a great venue, but at the same time, it exposes you to so much. And all you have to do is just be aware of what's going on around you. And if you want to copy it or take a look at it or like that groove,
Do your
pick
own
it up.
thing. Do your
Or
own
do
thing.
your own thing, yes.
I know this is off the script, but you see coaches back in the day, the suits and everything. How do you guys feel, and we'll go back to the other, how do you feel about them not wearing suits now? Because I remember seeing Pat Riley always looking sharp. How do you feel about that now? I always thought,
I'm actually kind of old school with this.
Are you?
I really do like the coaches to still be dressed up.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. You know, every now and then, right? I feel like, yeah, there's a time and place for the quarter zip and the sweatsuit, but you definitely should be dressed up.
So even in sweats is part of their fashion and their culture. You kind of like
it's more of a comfort thing now, right?
Sure, yeah.
Coaches are kind of running up and down the sideline, jumping around, and so they want to be comfortable. And so I totally get that as well.
But you like them with a good suit.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, like the pregame, you see people come out with their, their fashion. Is there anybody, and again, this isn't on the script, anybody you're like, I like the way they look before they get on the court, what they're wearing? That's actually WnBa or NBA.
I mean,
I put you on the spot,
Put
didn't
me on the
I?
spot. I would say, W player. Oh, Angel. Actually, no, yeah, somebody said Angel. You're right. Yeah, Angel's got some.
Oh, a round of applause. Yes. What about NBA?
You said Sydney Colson. She's got some. She can dress. NBA, I don't know. Sometimes W, they're carrying them. Sometimes NBA, they just kind of wear whatever.
Yeah, before you even get on the court, you're seeing the fashion of what they're looking like, and the cameras on them from head to toe.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's a whole thing.
Like the walk-in tunnels
Yes.
are like what these players live for. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes they care about the walk-in tunnel more than the
game.
actual game. But like
That's part two.
They got to get their fits on for sure.
Did you really just say that?
Yes.
We're having a conversation. Hey, we're in the living room right now.
That's the beauty of
That's the
conversation.
beauty of the conversation. Again, it wasn't scripted. I always wanted, the coaches don't wear their suits anymore. They're like in their sweatsuits. I just wanted to know what you thought about that.
Well, I think the other part of it is versus suits versus how they dress now.
Sure.
Is that now you don't have to carry 3 or 4 suits with you, and pants and shoes
And all of
the
that.
whole
You
mix.
just hop off the plane and wear your,
Exactly. And your gear is brought to the arena or to your hotel by ball boys or by somebody. It's called all gets there.
Stylists probably
So,
now.
For me, that's why things have kind of changed because they're on the road quite a bit, and there's like back in the day when I played as an example, you had to carry all of your stuff yourself.
And the roll bags, they had the roll
No.
bags. No roll bags back then? You said what bags?
Roll
No roll bags.
No, it was just
Carry your stuff.
just carry your stuff.
Can you guys still hear us back there?
A different world.
What about the influence in, we talked about fashion, but what about KG music?
Well, I would say music too. I mean, I feel like you see a lot of athletes in music videos, and you see artists at the game sitting courtside, and so there's a lot of correlation with that as well. And then, even to what they're listening to at the game. I feel like, you want the energy in the arena in terms of it being lively. And so, when I go to a game, like that's the number one thing that I look for, the energy, and make sure people got a good DJ. So the DJ today was really good. So
Really, really good. So the music gets you pumped up. Even when they're getting out of the bus, they got their headphones, you can't hear what
yeah,
they're playing.
you
but
gotta
it's a
make
whole-
sure you're in the zone.
In the zone, in the zone.
Can I speak to that right?
Yes, you can speak to whatever you want.
Because it's interesting because sometimes you go into some of these high schools or colleges or wherever, even to our own building, and you hear this music, this bumpy.
The bumpty bumps. I know about the bumpty bumps. Go on, Campy.
Most people say, well, that music gets me hyped. Okay, well, all right. So, but hype only can stay around just for a little while.
Okay.
So when you play this game, in my opinion, this is just how I feel it, was I grew up, when I went to the rec center, there was a guy named Bobby Kaiser, just passing his on. And what he played in the building was just smooth jazz.
See, now this is the behind the scenes. Smooth jazz, no bumpity bump.
Right. So it was just smooth. So what that allows you to do was to stay within yourself. When you're playing. Even when the game is at its height. You stay within yourself. You don't get so high that at some point you're just down and you can't even get it done anymore. So that's the thing that I grew up with.
Now, would you like to hear the smooth jazz inside the arena when the Cavs are playing?
No, because they wouldn't tolerate it.
They got that. Maybe the bumpity bump with some smooth jazz.
They wouldn't tolerate it.
Maybe
So, again, we're talking about different eras.
Yeah.
We're talking about in the 70s and the 80s. Now we're talking about a new world. And for me, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the thing that I always try to keep within myself is always being under control, not getting too high or not getting too low, and then being able to perform whenever that opportunity shows up.
KG, we mentioned, and you said you know the name, but you can't tell me because we're gonna all find out in February, right? I'm gonna get it out of you some way. Cleveland is gaining, as we know, a WnBa team, which is huge. What made Cleveland, the CLE, the right city at the right time?
Yeah, why not Cleveland?
Why not?
Why not? I think for us and what set us apart is, first of all, the investment that we have from top down from our ownership group. So Dan Gilbert, all the money he's kind of pumping into Cleveland. So obviously you have the Global Peak Performance Center that's about to open in 27. All the renovations and things that we're doing. Yeah, clap it up for that. But it's more so also the resources that we have, right? So we beat out cities like Nashville, like Miami, like Charlotte, right? So huge cities. And that's a testament to everything that we have currently in Cleveland. Obviously, we hosted the NCAA Women's Final Four. We have the wrestling championships coming up next year as well. And so there's tons of events that we're having at Rocket Arena. And with that, major eyeballs within the city. And so the W team will be playing at the current CAS practice facility, Cleveland Clinic Courts. That's going to be our practice facility. So some changes will be made to that facility so the women have everything that they need in terms of bringing their best selves to the court.
And the support is critical. I mean,
Yes.
if you don't have the support, you can't do a lot of things.
No.
It's like, forgive me, but it's like a good bra, right? You need the support.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So with the support, we have over 7,200 initial payments already.
Right.
Shameless plug, if you don't have one, get one. It's only $28.
I'm so
Get in
hyped.
that priority list.
It's gonna be so good.
But yeah, so we have a ton of momentum right now. It's only getting stronger. So
Just to add something to that, in terms of getting the WnBa here, a lot of that had to do with just the overall history of Cleveland in terms of how they support their teams,
Yep.
how they
Yep.
become totally engaged with their teams. So when you have that type of element, along with all the finances that we have as an organization, that puts you in a good position to have a WnBA team. And I'm sure, just like all the other teams that we have here, they're going to be just as successful or even more successful as any of these other teams because of the great support of you all as fans. And that is what Cleveland is about. Their fans and how they support.
Cleveland shows up and shows out, right?
Rockets, they averaged almost over 10,000 fans 20 years ago.
Wow.
So I can only imagine what's going to be 20 years.
We're gonna get a little bit more serious now. I think everybody can identify with this, especially after COVID. People are more tapped into their mental health or their awareness or how they're feeling. At least that's what I've noticed. How can teams encourage conversations about mental wellness, representation, and belonging? How can teams do that? Or do you feel like they have an obligation to do so?
Well, I believe they have an obligation, but I have to say this first. The Cavaliers our organization do a great job of putting information out in front of you and letting you be the best person that you can be based upon who you are. It's not about, it's all about the people that we have in our organization. You're free to speak your voice. They want to hear your voice, no matter good, bad, or indifferent. Because I think that's the beauty of when you got a lot of people together, you have to be able to get along with each other, but at the same time, speak your voice, speak your piece, and no one takes total offense to it. So that's the beauty of working for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
What do you think about, the mental health component of everything? 'Cause,
Yeah.
A lot of people, I always say to my kids, you never know what somebody's going through, So, and then when you add the sports element to that, how do you feel about that, KG?
Well, I think it first starts with just being able to bring your authentic self to work.
Mhm.
And sometimes what's it saying? You have to see yourself to know yourself. I'm not sure the exact saying, but for me, I'm one of the only Black females in a leadership role in terms of a revenue generating role. And so when I'm looking, you know, how we're building this thing from the ground up, and see with my counterpart Tamsin over there, like I want to be intentional with the people that we bring in the room, and I feel like, you know, when people are comfortable and you have somebody that you can identify with, that makes, you know, these other conversations a lot more easier to have. And so if you have a leader that, you know, you're comfortable with, you can talk to them about your mental health. You can talk to them about the personal battles that you're dealing with outside of work. And I think that's probably at the forefront of it, and being able to see yourself in the people that you work with.
Yeah, mental health it's really important. I'll just say that. Let's talk about personal journeys and inspiration. And Courtney, how am I doing? Are you back there? How am I doing?
You're doing good.
Oh, thank you. I meant in terms of time. If somebody said you're doing good, I'm doing okay. Thank you. I want to give you guys a chance to. I'll take that round of applause. Woo! I want to give you guys a chance to ask some questions that I may not have asked. Anybody need a sip of water? We're good? Okay. Campy, go ahead and get your sip of water. All right. Personal journeys and inspiration. Did we already talk? No, we didn't. What are some of the artistic or cultural influences that shaped your expression on and off the court? Now, I know that you like the jazz music and not the boom booms. Was it the boom booms or the thumb thumps? Okay, that's what. This is an audience who's paying attention. This is an audience who's paying attention. Who were some of the artistic and cultural influences that shaped your expression on and off the court?
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Well, I would think the person that influenced me as a person first, because I was a person before I was a basketball player. I think it's definitely got to be my mom and dad, you know, because and the community that I grew up in. The community that I grew up in was everybody was connected. Everybody was there who cared about each other, who looked out for each other. You know,
Campy, wasn't that kind of, you know, I'm the youngest of five, was it, and if we keep our voice down so we can hear our panelists, was it the kind of the community where, like, if you were cutting up, your neighbor could, you know, tell your parents that they knew what was going on before you got home? That kind of community?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I'm understanding what
Okay,
you're saying.
that's the kind of community that I grew up in. And to me, that helped shape the person that I am, as well as my 7 brothers and 3 sisters.
Wow, big family.
It was a big family.
Woo!
And
Where did you fall in there?
I was number 7.
Wow.
But the other part of it is, what that taught me was the ability to be able to deal with any situation that comes before you. Because when you're living with seven boys, 3 girls, a mother and a father, and you always had an uncle or 2 there, and you always had some cousins in the basement. And we were living in a house, that had 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, a basement, and an attic. You know, all the boys stayed in the basement, the girls stayed upstairs, my mom and dad stayed in one room, and my uncle stayed in the other room.
It takes a village, right?
Yes, but I'm saying all that to say that when you're put in a situation like that, you have the ability to conquer anything. You know, because even in that situation that I was in, that was the best thing that was going for me.
Yeah.
You know, I loved where I was at. I loved that community that I was a part of. I loved the people that I saw every day. The teachers who you went to school, who was teaching you, was living in the neighborhood too. That you saw them and you had relationships with them. So
People were involved in your life.
Exactly. So when I look back at how it all came together for Campy Russell and my brothers and sisters and all of us, it was about being organized, listening to what people have to say to you, be more conscious about the people that are around you, have a better understanding, and being forgiven, have the ability to forgive and not hold grudges and that kind of thing, because that is the thing that creates relationships, everlasting relationships. And I'm here to tell you that as the person that I have been, or the person that I am, I still have relationships with people that I went to kindergarten with.
See, that's right.
And I'm 73 years old.
Here's some more water you're drinking. Wow.
And So, just the fact of having that kind of relationship, and to me, I always use that word, relationships. Relationship is one of the most important things that you can have. And I think those are some of the things, and I don't want to be preaching here, but those are some of the things that I think we have to pass on to our children. Is to help them understand that relationships are everything, not just a miscellaneous relationship, but a true relationship that you both can care about each other and deal with each other and function in the same space without a lot of, I'm going to say, bad situations happening. So that's the kind of relationship that I've had. That's the kind of people that I grew up with. And again,
You're
my
still
mom and
friends
dad were
with.
still they ran the ship.
We have just a few more moments left, so I'm probably going to end it with you, KG. What personal inspirations are guiding you as you help build this new team from the ground up?
Yeah, I would say kind of what I touched on earlier is to make sure that I'm very intentional with who is in a room. I feel like when you're creating something from the ground up, you want to make sure you do it right. You have one opportunity to do it right. And rarely in your career, in your professional career, where you get an opportunity where you can be a part of something, building something from the ground up. And so,
Exciting.
like I said, from like the hiring portion, from just how we collaborate internally, making sure that we have inclusivity in terms of what we have as well, down to the fans, down to the people that we're working with. I think that's the most important thing that I'm really looking forward to in this new role, and understanding like the responsibility that comes with that. Like, I'm not like, I do understand that, and I want to make sure that I do my due diligence. I really connect with the right people, get the right people in the room, because ultimately, like I said, like I want more Black women for the Cavs, for the Cleveland WnBa team, more people of color in the room as well, and so I have a direct impact on that, and that's really important to me as a leader. So yes.
We got you. We got you. I think this is the time we're going to turn over. If you have any questions, this is a perfect opportunity to ask questions. Courtney, where are you? I'm going to let you be Oprah or Phil Donahue or whoever, Ricky Lake, whoever you want to be. I see this person right here in the front. Tell me your name and your favorite Thanksgiving dish. I know it has nothing to do with it. What's your name?
It would be Rachel Hill, and my favorite dish is dressing.
Ooh, yes, I make a good seafood dressing. We started
That's what Sita says.
Right? See now, she's been there to you. What is your question?
So my question, first of all, campy for you, go Bucks. You know what time it is. And also, I just wanted to ask, besides going to games, what else can we do to support this new team to make sure it's going to be successful?
Good question.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess I'll just. So right now we're having tons of events in terms of getting out in the community. Looking at Jessica Davis right here in the second row.
Jessica!
She is over our youth basketball, director of youth basketball programming, and so she has a direct impact in how we're showing up in the community. And so for our press conference, when we officially announced the team coming, we committed to 28 female programming for girls in the Cleveland area. And so we're off to a great start. I think we're at 10 now, Jess, is that right?
Oh no, 13.
13! All right, I'm short of and so in terms of like getting out with the youth, I mean, we've seen like the confidence is like a really major factor when it comes to young girls and young women. And we need to be able to make sure that they get that instilled in them at this young age. We're targeting like the 8 to 12-year-old range in terms of that. And so how you can kind of get involved with that, if you have any kids, I would definitely recommend our programming, but also be on the lookout for all the events that we're going to be having within the community to make sure we continue to spread the word about Cleveland WnBa, then ultimately get to the game in 2028. So it doesn't necessarily, you don't have to have, it'd be great if you get a season ticket membership with us, but ultimately we want you to be involved in just the atmosphere of the WnBA. I feel like the W is such a different environment in terms of the NBA, and we're just trying to create a whole nother lane and vibe in the community. And so I'm really looking forward to doing that.
You have another What is your name and what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Okay, my name is Corey, and I think I like cranberry sauce.
Cranberry sauce? You know, every year I make the cranberry sauce and nobody eats it. Uh-oh.
That's
I
what
mean,
you
that's
like.
a whole other, that's a whole other.
Everybody like it?
That's what you like.
That's what he likes. That was my question. Home air, out of the can. Out of the can. Out of the can.
I believe I like it.
Out of the can. Okay. What is your question? What is your question?
I'm not
That's a lot of
I didn't know that people
You're
like
okay.
cranberry sauce.
Cranberry sauce is good. It's good.
So I'm just curious. We're talking about the sports development center we building by the Cuyahoga River, right? So I'm just curious, and maybe me for thinking or not, but we heard CP3 announce his retirement for the NBA today, right? So we didn't see LeBron blink an eye. He was like, "Congratulations, man, you did your thing." So with this sports facility coming in and all this talk every year, LeBron might come back. LeBron might come back.
What's the question?
If we added
What's the
6 more
question?
years to LeBron's career with this facility, are we adding 6 more years to LeBron's career with this facility?
What's the question?
I'm saying, can we get LeBron at least 52 to try to get him up there with Bill Russell when he won the championship?
Okay, that's the question.
Yeah, can we get some more championships for LeBron with the sports facility?
Okay. Thank you, love. Cranberry sauce. Next question. Last question I need to. This is the last one. Okay. Should I ask this one? Okay. Thank you. What is your name, love? And what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Hello, everyone. My name is Vera Howard.
Hi, Vera.
My favorite, of course, is the turkey.
Okay, Vera Howard. Okay. What is your question? This is the last question.
My question is for honestly anyone in the room who could possibly answer.
Okay.
So basketball is obviously popular in Cleveland and everywhere.
Okay.
But also children's education is extremely important.
Yes.
How can basketball uplift children's education for the public to know more about and be more involved with the kids learning?
Yes. Who on the panel wants to answer that?
Well,
Everybody can carry. Who wants to answer that? It could be
I'll try to
anybody.
answer it.
Yeah?
Okay. You mentioned something about
Education is important.
education being important, right?
Absolutely.
And again, I still look at it this way, the old-fashioned way is it all starts right there at the house.
Yep. Amen.
And at the same time, it all starts right there in that community.
Amen.
You know, the same thing, at the same time, it all starts back, goes back to what kind of relationships are going on in those, in that community. And when those communities are bad, don't have relationships and what have you, then we get what we get. But to your point in terms of how we go by, the question was,
Education.
Yes, education. And basketball is popular. So how do we make children's education just as popular and known to the public?
well, I think it also starts with, not only does it start with the
Parents.
with the
Say
parents,
geez like parents.
not only does it start with the parents. You see this thing right here? This thing is the most dangerous thing in the world for our kids. But we allow
What makes you say that?
because that's where they spend most of their time.
Conversation.
Still the conversations, still going out and playing, still creating opportunities for themselves. creating
Punishment was you can't go play outside. That was punishment, right? You know what I mean?
And you know, because I go through that even with my grandchildren.
Keep it down, please. We're almost wrapped up.
I go through that even with my
Yeah.
grandchildren.
Yeah.
The good news is, you know, they are very, I'm gonna say right, but at the same time, they spend a lot of time on this thing right here.
Yeah.
And I try to tell them, hey man, you gotta get out there and play this game, create relationships for yourself, be a full person, you know, don't get caught up out here with just this thing right here.
Cell phone.
You know, so I think it all starts at home, and I think you have to really keep that out in front of our kids, because sometimes we feel like we don't want to discipline our kids because of whatever that may be. But you know,
But don't you think it's everybody's responsibility to help with these kids? Everybody's responsibility.
And it is.
You know, it is.
But
It
at the
takes a
same time,
village.
people don't like you saying something to their kids either.
Yeah, that's true. It's a different day and age.
Yes.
Courtney, are we done with our questions?
Okay, wait, before we go. KG, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Okay, all right. Mr. Campy, what's your favorite? What's your favorite? You can have two. I'm gonna allow you to have two.
Well, this one is my sister's
Okay.
zucchini casserole.
Zucchini casserole. Oh, that sounds good. Give me the recipe. Give me the recipe.
And instead of using macaroni and cheese, she used zucchini.
Zucchini casserole.
It's an outstanding dish.
All right. I want to thank and give this panel an amazing round of applause. I mean, this was insight. This is what we do. Cleveland. We show up and show out, right? Are you sure you don't want something to do with that team? Oh, you are not breaking for nothing.
You gotta tune in. You gotta tune in.
Tune in.
I will say, so we want to show up in the community in terms of our new WnBa team. And so if there is an event, a location, you know, a basketball game, girls, boys, whatever it is within the community, I would say let us know. We really want to try to canvass the entire, obviously Northeast Ohio, but the entire state as well. And so you guys can help us by making sure we're educated in the spaces that we need to be. So, yes, thank you.
Intersection of sports and arts, thank you so much. Please watch me so I can feed my baby, so I can get them lots of cranberry sauce for Thanksgiving. That's the news. You know you'll take some meat from that. Thank you so much. Enjoy yourselves. Be kind.
Thank you so
Is this
much.
what the dance party starts?
Yeah. I see you. I'm glad she came ready.